welcome back to Truvo Talks. This is episode number 2. I'm your host, George Boot. Today I spoke with our Chief Commercial Officer, Rob Lemon, around all things Truvo. We covered where it all started back in 2013. We spoke about the internal culture, which is one of the things I immediately noticed when joining the business last year, and why it's driven such great success through the recent years of the business and why it's so important. We then go on to discuss all things about our product stack and where we want to be as a business moving forward and potential roadmap items that we want to bring your way as a business. Now, I don't really want to spend too long on the intro, but we really do like any sort of comments. All of your feedback is appreciated. However you choose to give that to us, we would really, really appreciate it. So let's get into it. Run the intro music. Just before we get into the podcast, I want to share something with you, which we haven't shared yet, which is essentially the reason why we're doing this podcast. This podcast is, as you're aware, called Truevo Talks. It's going to be a bi-weekly podcast brought to you by Truevo Payments. Now, the podcast is going to go to town on all e-commerce trends, business news, digital marketing, e-commerce, entrepreneurship, growth hacks, you name it. I probably named them more than twice. But yeah, we're going to cover it, and it's going to be applicable to you regardless of your business size. It's going to be hosted by me, George Boot. I'm a business development manager here at Truvo, and it's going to be broadcasted from here in the UK. The reason we're doing it is we really want to engage and share knowledge with e-commerce businesses and equally thought leaders. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Join the conversation on all of our social media platforms, which will be in the links somewhere above, below, sideways, however, wherever the editors, decide to put it. Please engage with us. We'd love to hear from you. So let's get into the podcast. First of all, thank you for taking the time to have a conversation with me about these specific topics, which we're going to cover. But the first one being, who are Truvo, and essentially a bit about the company. I think you're more than qualified to answer that kind of question and have a conversation with me around that. So tell us a little bit about Truvo and where it's come from.
Yeah, absolutely. Will do. So Truvo is, or Truevo Payments, we're an online payments company. Essentially, we are an acquirer. We were founded in 2013. We then got our licensing in place, etc. And we started processing towards the end of 2016. Our head office here in Malta, where we are licensed by the MFSA. We are what you would call a payment institution. We have principal memberships with Visa, Mastercard, and JCB card schemes. And through these memberships, we are acting as an acquirer. Acquirer is a nice word for being the merchant acquirer, which is essentially we provide the link between any business wanting to sell products and accept cards, and then the card networks. We are active as an acquirer, both for e-commerce as well as for in-store card present payments.
And a little bit about yourself as well, because I think it's, you've got a lot of credibility, and I think the listeners and also me would like to know a little bit more about that. Just a bit, when did you join Truvo? Where did you come from? And a little bit of background on yourself, which might be an easier topic to cover, seeing as it is you.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So the name is Rob. I've been with Truvo for about 3.5 years now. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer. So essentially, I'm responsible for all sales and all account management activities, as well as revenue planning and revenue assurance, and making sure the company continues to grow on the fast pace that it's growing today. When I joined Truvo late 2018, we were a little under 50 people, and now we are 150 strong. So we've grown quite considerably over these past 3.5 years. And it's been an exciting journey. In total, I've been in payments for about 12 years now. Essentially, most of my working career in that sense. I started out in 2010 with the first team that set up Klarna in the Netherlands. When they were just expanding out of the Nordics down to Netherlands and to Germany. Spent a few years there. And then I moved over, worked in a few other outfits. And I started working in card acquiring, which is one subset of the online payments industry in 2015.
What do you? now you've mentioned Klarna, we'll just quickly jump onto that. What do you think of their recent success and how quickly they've gone from where they were to where they are now? And what do you think to the whole buy now, pay later thing? What's your views on that?
Buy now, pay later as an industry is on fire the last few years, which is quite exciting, really. When I left Klarna in 2013, I had seen them grow from a 400 people startup to a 1,000 people scale-up business. And in 2013, they were still active only in those 6 core markets, right? Since then, they've been on a rocket development. The UK, then the US, and even buying other fintechs like SoFort and BillPay in Germany, and now they're in Australia. They're all over the place. It's quite astonishing, really.
Yes, it is.
I mean, they're at the forefront of the buy now, pay later landscape, but there's so many other businesses that are now also jumping on that because they see that in the end, there's clearly a customer demand for a flexible payment option in the checkout.
Yep.
And there's always people who like it. There's people who don't like it. There's clearly a push being made for regulation of the space, which, again, could be considered a good thing or a bad thing.
Yes,
I think in the end, credit is credit. And what you don't want is that people take on too much credit and they can't afford the things that they're trying to buy. And then at the same time, they get into trouble not being able to pay for their mortgage or other things. So, of course, those elements will need to be protected.
Yes, of course.
I think we'll just need to be careful that we're not going to have an overabundance of regulation.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's the same for every other space in payments as well.
I think my other half might give me a slap on the wrist for mentioning it, but yeah, she uses Klarna a lot. She uses a couple of others, ClearPay, and I think I saw one the other day, Pay Later. There's lots of them coming, and I do think there's definitely a market that's going to grow pretty quickly, especially in the UK. But like you say, it probably does need to be regulated correctly because it could cause people a lot of problems if they're not careful. But yeah, okay, great. No, thanks for that. One thing that I noticed when I first came into Truvo was the culture around the place and how different it was to everywhere else I'd been in the past. Is that something that you noticed when you came here, or is that something that you've implemented? Did you think it needed change? I mean, talk to me a little bit about that and who are we, essentially?
Yeah, fair enough. So, I mean, I think what makes Truvo quite special is among other things, the quality of staff.
Yeah.
I mean, we are a relatively small business in that sense, with about 150 people.
Yeah.
We've got people all over the place. I mean, you are now part of the UK team. Our headquarters, of course, is in Malta. We have teams in various other European countries as well as in South Africa. And although Truvo is, now about 8-9 years old, there's people who've been with us for longer than that from previous enterprises that the same founder has had. We've had people with Truvo and preceding companies sometimes for as long as 20 plus years now.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot about Truvo.
I think it does, yeah.
Sorry.
No, go on, you go on, sorry.
Yeah, you might want to cut that part. I think we've had people with us for 20 plus years now, and I think that says a lot about Truvo. And employee retention is important. We value quality employees, and we want to make sure that they enjoy where they work. If they enjoy where they work and they come to work every day, whether that's now in a remote setting or previously to the office, and they are happy with what they do and it's fulfilling, then they will stay. Yeah. And they'll be positive in working with us. Like, it's a really good thing.
Yeah, and on that, I think I'm a really, really big firm believer in you've got to love the process of what you do, not just the results of what you do. And I think what's made that really easy in Truvo is I think everyone's in the same boat. Everyone wakes up and wants to come to work. And equally, I'm in a great team. I'm in a company that supports me in what I want to do and the decisions that I make. This podcast came around, and I'm the host of this podcast because of Truvo. There were a lot of places I wouldn't have got this opportunity. So I think it's about, you've really got to love the process of what you do before you start thinking about the results, because if you don't love what you do on a day-to-day basis, it's going to make those results really, really hard to come by. yeah, to achieve the results, you've got to love what you're doing in the meantime and how you're achieving those results, which is great.
Well, definitely.
Yeah.
To enjoy the work for sure. And I mean, we focus a lot on the quality of work and on giving people the right tools to enable them to do the right work. Coaching, of course, is an important element. I think it's quite fulfilling to see people joining the company at a relatively junior position, and you see them grow over a number of years to a better place.
Yes.
I think specifically within Malta, we've actually done a pretty good job also of attracting talent that maybe in the past was looking to make the next move and was unable to get it. And then with Truvo, they've been in that position that they're able to grow to the next level, and we facilitate that.
Yeah, no, great, and I can see that. I really can. There's a couple of people within Truvo that I've worked with at previous employers, and they were always great at their job. And I'm really pleased to be working with them again, which is always great. I think moving on to the next part, essentially about Truvo, is what we do. We've covered over the fact that we're a payment processor and acquirer, a little bit about the culture, but what is it that we do, and talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely, yeah. So, looking at what Truvo does as an overall business, I mean, you spoke about that we are an acquirer.
Yes.
That's the very basic premise, right? Now, when we started out the first few years, our core focus was on being a pure play acquirer. We had a very strong focus on e-commerce payments, and same as probably many other startup acquirers, we were quite small in the beginning, and we were sourcing a lot of our clients through referral network, an indirect channel, if you will. But that was the starting point. Since then, we've developed a lot. So our development the last few years has seen Truvo become something bigger than just being a pure acquirer. So as you are looking for different products and services you can offer to your merchants and to your clients, you will also have to provide an evolving product.
Yeah.
It can't be a standstill situation. So we are now building out what you would otherwise call a full service offering, where we are looking at providing a wide range of products and services to our merchants to fulfill their payment needs. So that includes things like having an e-commerce gateway, host payment pages, taking care of 3D Secure, taking care of PCI compliance, providing tokenization services so people can store their card. And then when a shopper returns to the same shop, they can, purchase again without having to re-enter their card data. And all that data is stored securely on Truvo's end and not with the merchant. So those are all add-on services to what is initially the core acquiring.
Yes.
And with that wide range of services, we're able to serve also quite a long list of different merchant industries.
Yes.
We don't specialize in any particular field. We have experience in some more than others, probably like everybody else does. But in general, I mean, we serve classic retail merchants, so shoes and clothes and etc. We are active in the insurance industry. We deal with telecom operators, but then, looking at in-store payments, we deal with restaurants and takeaways, and we deal with dentists. And then if you go again to online, we're dealing with digital game distributors, online entertainment, travel operators, and anything in between. So I think we have a very wide range and wide breadth of businesses that we try to help out.
Yeah, I think I remember having a conversation with a retail merchant not too long ago, and I think we had a great conversation around how their current provider didn't have a robust payment solution that they were looking for. And I think one of the things that I used in and I wanted to reiterate to them is the fact that we do have a strong history in that kind of gaming and gambling sector, which is a lot of money in, but it's also a lot of money out in the kind of payouts and OCT function. So a really robust functionality is something that merchants are craving for at the moment. Do you have an idea as to any of industries that you see Truvo serving more than others in the future? Is there any ones that you think we're untapped in? Is there any ones that you want to go after that are specifically that you want to have a bigger footprint in or a bigger market share?
I think, given where Truvo is today, there's room for growth in any particular field in that sense.
Yep.
there's a huge market out there. Looking at the UK alone, there's 4 million plus businesses in payments. So there's enough fish in the pond to sign up new business. The legacy acquirers have a lot of merchants in their books, and they do not necessarily always have a close eye on what it is that their clients might need. And who wants to be number 1986 in the call list of the account manager at Acquirer A?
Yes.
So I think providing a high quality product, good service, proper high uptime, quality reporting, attractive rates, all of that combined, it's a compelling service. And we're not even reinventing the wheel here. We just want to be 1% better than everybody else.
Exactly.
1% faster, 1% more uptime, 1% better rates, 1% higher service. And in the end, you've got an outstanding product.
Yeah, I think the conversations I'm having as well, a lot of it is around that kind of merchants don't no longer want to be a number on a list for a major acquirer A or whoever we're talking about. They want a personal relationship with who they're dealing with, and they want a long-term relationship. And I think that's where it's driven. And the conversations I'm having are around that. It's a case of the merchant wants to understand they want to be part of their payment processes and their acquirer's roadmap as much as we want them to be a part of ours. And I think the more we can communicate that, the better it is for our merchants, and equally us, because we keep merchants long term, and that's what we want. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
Definitely.
Yes.
Nicely leading on then to kind of products that we offer. How what kind of scope have we got, and what kind of our product offerings and how they are at the moment? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Yes. So we started out being an e-commerce acquirer. And we were one of the first acquirers in Europe to support both Mastercard Money Send and Visa Direct.
Yep.
And since then, we've been at the forefront of assisting fintechs, digital wallet companies, money remittance businesses, etc., with offering our card payouts product.
Yep.
It's quite a substantial part of our business. We're really good at doing payouts, in addition to doing the classic acquiring.
Yep.
E-commerce has grown a lot.
Definitely, yeah.
And it's an area that will continue to grow more in the coming years. But nevertheless, I mean, the primary way where most people still buy their products and services is in the in-store environment.
Of course, yeah. Yep.
So we successfully launched our card present solution at the start of 2020. Now, timing might have been a bit off in terms of pandemic being around the corner. And maybe the first few months were a bit rocky with all those lockdowns, etc., taking place.
Yeah.
But we are now, 2 years down the line, we're providing POS terminals to thousands of merchants in the UK and Ireland. And I think it's been a great addition to our portfolio and a great addition to our product set.
Yeah.
And when we launched our POS solution, we built it on the same platform as our e-commerce solution. So everything runs on a single platform. Everything runs on a single reporting interface. If merchants have both in-store and online payments, they can go into a single portal to see all their transactions, to download the reports, to get everything on one single statement.
Yep.
So those things are important as well to clients.
Yeah, I agree. And I think leads nicely onto it. So what do you think is going to be a paramount thing for merchants in the future as to when they're choosing a payment provider? What do you think is going to be? Is it going to be the relationship? Is it going to be the product, the rates, the onboarding journey, or is it a combination of them all? It could be, but not everyone gets every piece of that function right.
Yeah, I think everybody can compete on rates.
Yes.
Right. That's the easy part, almost.
Yes.
I think in the end, maintaining a high quality uptime, maintaining high quality support,
yep,
and not being a number in the book, these three combined, I think, are what make the difference.
Yeah, agreed. 100% agreed. I think, again, just to sort of, we briefly touched on it, but a lot of the conversations I'm having are not about price. And I think when when the rates and the price conversations start to come in, they're usually very, very short conversations. Either you beat them or you can't. And equally, even if you can beat them, you've got them for 12 months, and then they'll go and have the same conversation with someone else in 12 months' time. So we need to, it's about, the conversations I'm having are very much the complete opposite. It's how can we help you long term, but equally, how can we look at saving you money at the same time?
Yeah.
And equally, we have the same thing.
Definitely.
Cool. Okay. And then countries and locations that we operate in. This has to be probably the first company that I've worked with where I've got a time zone to think about when I'm arranging internal meetings, and I've got other things to worry about than just picking a time in the UK. So where's Truvo, and where can we find everyone? What countries are we operating in?
So, if you look at where we are based, our headquarters are in Malta.
Yep.
I think our second major presence is in South Africa. We have staff spread across primarily Johannesburg and Cape Town locations.
Yep.
We opened our office in the UK a while ago as well. We're expecting a lot of growth there. We're setting up a larger team and hiring roles in a variety of different functions. As we continue to board a lot of business in the UK, it is the largest card payments market in Europe. So obviously there's a lot of business to be had.
Yep.
Separately, we're in the process of obtaining a license for the UK, which is necessary, considering the post-Brexit scenario, of course.
Yep.
And then, of course, we have staff in a variety of other locations. I mean, as we have evolved into a hybrid working mode, the past 2 years, we have staff from operations that could be sitting in Bulgaria. Then we may have developers in other markets as well. There's nothing to stop tomorrow somebody from sitting in Lisbon, or somebody in Barcelona, or somebody in Milan.
Yeah.
As long as somebody does their work and is contributing to Truvo's future, then you could be based technically elsewhere in Europe. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, has your current role at Truvo and equally your previous roles taken you many places across the world? And I suppose hybrid working has been a fundamental piece of your work for a long time. However, myself, it hasn't been. It's probably only been the last 2 years since COVID that I've actually been able to work from home. And it's been really interesting. I do find myself really productive. And what's your opinions on hybrid working? Do you like it? Do you think companies can build big businesses in a hybrid world, or do you think the office presence is paramount? Because I do enjoy being at an office. When I came over to Malta in December, it was great to see everyone. I really enjoyed my time there, but then it was equally nice to come back and see my family and be at home. So what was kind of your thoughts on hybrid working?
I think there's a future for having a healthy mix between the two. I can't speak for other businesses that
of course
are in a completely different type of work. I mean, there's even certain businesses that are now just shutting their entire offices and having everybody work from home.
Yeah,
I think that's quite a challenge. On the other hand, it's an exciting challenge, and if you can fulfill that and people are happy with that, and the business is productive, then all good. Yeah. But there's other businesses that are now coming more into a return to the office mode. I think with Truvo, given the type of product that we have and the type of service that we offer to merchants all around Europe, the hybrid mode is probably a good one for us. I mean, I've worked in the past in roles where I was 100% home-based pre-pandemic.
Yes.
But I've also been in roles where coming to the office 5 days a week was the norm. And there's something to be said for both, but I think looking at what we offer and how the dynamics are between the various teams, I think long term it makes sense for people to come into the office on a regular basis, and especially to meet with your own teammates, but also with colleagues from other departments, especially when you need to have that dialogue between different teams.
Yes.
It would be important to then actually be able to meet face to face and push things out quickly and move on and find progress that might be done on a personal level faster than doing it over endless Google Meets and Zoom calls.
I do agree. I'm conscious of time. I didn't want to keep you too long because you're a busy man, but I just wanted to finish off with a quick fire round 6 questions which you haven't seen yet. So, off we go with the first one. Summer or winter?
Summer. Why do you think I'm a Malta?
It's a very good answer. I wrote that down and I thought he probably will say Malta, hence why he lives in summer, hence why he lives in Malta. But anyway, next one. You go into a bar. What's your favourite drink?
That would be a Moscow Mule.
When are you most productive?
In the morning.
In the morning,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, between 7 and 9 before my son wakes up.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely more productive in the mornings. When that coffee's just kicked in, you're definitely more productive in the morning. What's your favourite thing to do outside of work?
On a personal level, I think that has to be spending time with our newborn. Well, newborn, he's approaching 2 years now. I mean, it has indirectly been one of the main benefits of working from home and not traveling elsewhere.
Exactly.
Having the opportunity to spend so much time with family has been quite astonishing. Yeah,
great. No, I completely understand that, and I think it actually ties quite nicely if into the next question, was what does success mean to you? Does it mean being able to be productive at work and equally spending time with the family? Is it a happiness thing? Is it what does success mean to you?
Well, coming from a commercial background, success means winning. So I think seeing Truvo grow as much as we have over the last few years is quite extraordinary. And to be honest, winning and growing is not only about monetary results or revenue for the company. It also means signing up X new merchants, which are happy with your product, happy with your service, and are satisfied clients. Because we win when our clients win. I think that's really important.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then the last one, white or dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Very well. Very, very well. No, I really appreciate your time. So that was just a nice, quick way to finish and for the listeners to get a little bit of an understanding, a little tiny bit more about yourself. But I really appreciate that. So thank you for joining, Rob, and have a good day.
Perfect. Thank you.
We really appreciate you taking the time to listen to the podcast. It does mean a great deal to us, and all of your feedback is appreciated, as I said at the start. So please don't hesitate to leave a review. However you choose to watch this, Spotify, Apple iTunes, YouTube, however you choose to watch the full podcast, all of your feedback is appreciated. And please let us know what we could change, what we could do better. We're an open forum. We're a complete open book. We'd love to hear from you. So thank you, and see you in the next episode.